Welcome to the live demo of Aries astrology software. Nice to have you. I'm just going to go over a bunch of charts maybe today, pretty much free flow. For anyone who has any questions, basically you can interrupt me anytime, and then we can just go through whatever interests you. I have been working on this for like many days and weeks, and Aries has become like from like a small open source project that has become like a full astrology software suite, you could say. And so I could never even go through all the things Aries can do in 1 hour. So please let me know if you have any particular areas of interest, and then we can just go over that. I'm going to share my screen with you here. I just realized Saturn is stationing retrograde like right now. I think the full station is in 3 hours. So I feel a little under the weather, I have to say. It's like Saturn is always pretty heavy on me with my Capricorn ascendant. Okay, so this is the app that you hopefully all have seen before. What's new? So basically I've been working a lot on just making the app even more responsive and fast in the past days. So we can do these little nice animations here and even switch between different ways or different time segments, basically. So this is how minutes look like. This is the diurnal motion at approximately maybe 4 minutes per second. So it's 1 degree of the equator per second by touching the option key. When I leave the option key, we get the day rate, so to speak, which is sort of the same time dimension as secondary progressions. But also when we go up with our arrows and down, we can actually jump in weeks, which is also interesting. Let me just also activate here my little cursor so you can see better. I hope everyone can see this fairly well. So I don't know if anyone has already like watched my YouTube videos. What I was trying to achieve with Aries in the first place when I started on this project was to create the one astrology software that solves all my problems, because I have been using things like Astro Gold and Astro Seek and even another app, Time Nomad, on my phone, and it definitely happened. And then I also used Morinus for like various techniques or just to show people their charts. And my dream was to like not only get every technique that I really need in my daily practice into the one and the same app, but also have it so it's really it has a user interface that's like it doesn't feel like 1996 or whatever. And I think the astrology software world in general has been a little behind in terms of usability. And I'm a media person. I used to be a music producer and I did some film editing and things like that. And I'm used to like working efficiently and having shortcuts and moving quickly. And this is how it started, basically. And I just kept on going, basically, and never stopped. So things you can do here is you have the here and now thing. You can move any chart immediately, but you can also do something that I only know from film editing, and it's called an ambient input, which means that you can always put in numbers, no matter in what part of the app you're right now. You can always just put a number. So I'm on 26 July right now, so let's just put in 23 here, and I press enter and I jump to July 23rd, because the parser, or like the ambient input, reads that as a day. It can't be a month, obviously. I could also put in 1996, and it jumps to 23 July 1996. So when you want to look at transits, or like when you have a client session, um, maybe let's say Friedrich Nietzsche, who I just used in my tutorial online. Friedrich Nietzsche is in my consultation, and I'm like, so when did that happen? Or like, tell me about your last relationship or something. And I'm like, when was that relationship? And I was like, yeah, it was in January 2012 or whatever. Okay, so I just put in 2012 Jan, and it moves to January 2012, and as you see, it's just still 26 because I just put in Jan 2012. So it will just take whatever days in there right now. So you can put in dates like this 17979, and it will recognize it as July 1st. I could also do Jewel 79, which will give me the same thing. So it's a pretty intelligent input, and you can throw various kinds of dates onto it, which is very convenient if you just want to quickly get transits. But you can also use that if you're not in transits, but for example, you're in secondary progressions, or like, let's put up secondary progressions for Nietzsche, and I do the same thing. I just do 23/5/77. Okay, so now I get the secondary progression for May 23rd, 1977. And this is how we can like move quickly, and always we never have to like put up another search field or something. The ambient input is listening. That's the concept behind that, basically. This is something I think not a lot of people have used yet in the app because it's not that obvious. And there's even another way to use the ambient input. I can pull it up by pressing the Shift key 2 times, and then I get date time, place, or chart name. And that means now I could like do Lou. Let's see. Do I have? Yeah, I have her. So this will just basically search for every person I have in my database. And I can also do like X, that's my personal chart, Max, and I don't know who that is. It will just, and you don't even have to put in all the whole name. You can just put in half the name, and it will find it. Let's do, yeah, Donald Trump, whatever. All the charts Modern Astrologer has in his collection, I guess. So this is also really convenient if you just want to pull up charts that you look at very often. I cannot open up my chart collection right now because then you would see all the birthdays of all my current clients, etc. So I will not do that, but I also recommend to just use the ambient input because it's just so much faster. So every time I'm like, I wonder what is going on in my life or like another person's life, I just put in the name and press enter, and I have that chart. And you can also open up multiple charts, as you could see. Okay, we have another part. Oh yeah, please. Can you just do I have to do
Hello?
anything? Yeah, please. Yeah.
What do you call the inputs again?
It's an ambient input. That's
Okay.
just a technical name for it because
Yeah.
it's like always open, basically.
I can't remember where the list is of the inputs. Where is it under help? I can't remember like the
Yeah. You go
keystroke.
to help. You go to
Yeah.
help up here. Press on help, and then you get the quick start guide.
Thank you.
Yeah. So there you have all your various little shortcuts here. And now it seems like a lot in the beginning, but it's really it's quite simple. The most important thing is just like you can always type in any number. You press Shift 2 times to get the text field without a number, and then the other important ones are like are these ones here, and they're pretty good to remember. T for transits, R for revolution, L for lunar return, S for secondary progression, A to show the aspects, M for minor aspects, P for perfections, D for directions, C for circumambulations, E for eclipses, which is also really cool. This is my eclipse list here, etc. So I hope these are fairly easy to memorize, and I lived with them now for quite a while, and I'm pretty confident that they will be good for people to use. So, but I'm also always open to input about the usability side of things. So this is just pretty much the basics. While we're at it, I can definitely also show you the Eclipse feature. So as I said, basically you can always close a list with the escape key, which is also convenient. You want to declutter your interface. So when I press E, I get the eclipses, and you can switch here between current and birth. So when I'm go to birth, I see the eclipses that were just around my birthday, and when I go to current, I see like the upcoming solar eclipse that's happening in 2 weeks. And what I can do with eclipses, I can just click on this date here, and it will open the eclipse as a transit. As usual, I press the tab key, which is the key above the shift key, to get my comparison or view. Or I can just look at the eclipse by itself. Another thing you can do with eclipses, you do right click, and then you say show eclipse path on map. And now we see the eclipse in 2 weeks on the map. So, and this is funny because look at this, it goes right through Spain, which not only has the craziest wildfires right now, and we have a eclipse and a fire sign, but Spain is also the World Cup champion of this year's World Cup, Football World Cup. Also, interestingly, the eclipse maximum will be pretty much in Iceland, and the whole eclipse will also go over Greenland. So pretty interesting in that regard about what will happen with Greenland and the U.S. foreign politics in the coming next 6 months to a year, I guess. So this is cool to do a mundane astrology, or even to like look at your own life and see like what kind of lines maybe are crossed by eclipse paths, or what places are crossed by eclipse paths. And the map in Aries is extremely detailed, and we have GPS coordinates up to like I think 10 centimeters possibly, but I didn't want to make it too calculation intensive, so I think we are like in a range of a few meters correctness, which actually can make a difference when you do super time sensitive timing techniques like primary direction. So you can set your birthplace to within 5 meters or so. So the hospital, or even the room you were born in, basically. Yeah, this is the eclipse feature. By the way, I put in a lot of new stuff into the astrocartography that I cannot possibly go into here, but just when I upload, for everyone who has the trial or like has the full version, I will upload a new version, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, and it will have all these new features, because now I can pull up all these new options here in astrocartography, switch them between Zodiacal and Inmundo. Jim Lewis, the founder of astrocartography, used Inmundo, by the way, but we can also do them Zodiacal, and we can have a sextile. We can have aspects now. So not only the AC and MC lines, but all the aspects from planets. And we have a multitude of new points here, more than you would ever need, I guess. But I was asked to put in more points, and I was more than happy to oblige. So we have some asteroids here. There will be more asteroids in the future, and we have fixed stars. So I can put in Fomalhaut, Regulus. What else? Spica. And okay, let's see if there is another person. Yes, please.
Okay, I didn't catch how you got to the right-hand side.
The right-hand side in the map.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
on the bottom,
that's a new feature. You don't have it in your app yet. Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
So yeah, you will. I will upload the new version in the coming days, and then you will have this little button here at the bottom, and this will pull up the new settings, basically. and then you will have all the new like fixed stars and all the other points, zenith points. We see here where a planet and a star has its zenith, so where a star basically stands right above you in the moment of your birth. And we also have asterisms now, which is cool. So you can actually see which stars in the sky were really present in the moment of your birth, which is also interesting to kind of visualize. All right. But as I said, there's a lot to explore here in the astrocartography. It's pretty much complete now in regards to what astrocartography can do usually. But yeah, you never know. Maybe there's going to be even more features. There is so much development in this field that I don't really know so much about, but I'm always open for feature requests, basically. We have local space lines as well here. So lots of things in astrocartography.
Updates will be notified through like the email, correct?
Yes, definitely. There will be updates, update emails for everyone, but you also see the update in the app itself, basically. Like usually you get a little, and when you start up the app, you will see there's a new version available, and then you can download it immediately. That should work now, but if it doesn't, please let me know. So basically, a new feature that we have now and that I really really like is the Synodic cycles. You can pull it up with Q, and what it does, it just shows you the stations, Cazimis, and retrogrades for all planets, and you can choose your planets up here. You can filter down. Let's only do Mercury right now. And then you have your, then you have your Mercury stations, and then Synodics is the same. We can get rid of all of these, and now we only have ingresses for Mercury. Oh no, and we have the stations. Okay, so this is, sorry, this is the Synodic cycles list, and basically it lets you see all planetary stations and ingresses, which is really handy. And then you can also jump always in Aries. You can always click on a date. So let's say, yeah, this is Nietzsche. I go to current, as you could see, it was in the 19th century. I go to birth or current, and then I see either my current time frame, or I see the time around the birth. So now I see my Mercury station, Cazimi, etc., and ingresses in the coming year, basically. And as you probably know, we just had a Mercury station on July 24th. I can click on this and I see the chart for that station, and I can go to the Cazimi. I can go to all of these ingresses, which is also often important for mundane astrology, or generally for people, especially for the slower planets. And I can go to Saturn as well. And then you see Saturn is stationing retrograde basically in an hour, exactly in 1.5 hours. So Saturn is stationing retrograde in Aries right now. We have an absolutely stationary Saturn hovering over us right now, which I think is very fitting for my app, which is which is called Aries, and I think Saturn is very much connected to software and technology. So that's this list. Another new list that's also very handy, you can pull up with X. And this is the aspect list. This is something that we also have in various apps, and it basically shows you the most exact aspects in a birth chart as a list. So it's sorted by orb, basically. You can sort it by orb, or you can sort it by body. And then you also see when that aspect becomes exact. And this is pretty fascinating sometimes, because if you look at my chart, this is the aspects that are in my chart. And if you count out the vertex, then the strongest aspect in my chart is this Mercury square Pluto in my chart, which is only 8 minutes apart away from 0. And then you look through that list, and it's all pretty much around my birthday, but there's one date, and that's actually Neptune sextile Pluto applying in 3 degrees, and it's actually completing yesterday, July 25th, 2026. So this was the first exact Neptune Pluto sextile in my life that was so close on my birthday, and all the people that were born around that time, and it only completed now. So this is kind of interesting, and I haven't ever really thought about that. And the same thing you have here for Nietzsche, who actually has an aspect. I mean, you could say, like, who cares about that aspect? It's like the Neptune making a trine to the syzygy, to the prenatal lunation. But still kind of fascinating to see that this Neptune took that long to actually arrive at that trine to the syzygy. Which I hope is correct, by the way. We still have some bugs in here, but I think this will open up pretty interesting new avenues of research for people. Yeah, this is 2 new features that also came sort of as a feature request from one of my early adopters. And I just want to stress that I really like to work together with other astrologers who have great ideas and who really work with astrology on a daily basis to implement like new ways of doing this. We live in a time now where we have the tools available to really quickly innovate.
I was thinking that the red color would be the retrograde, but why are some red and some green?
Okay, that's a great question. That's a feature that actually still comes from the old Morinus. And it's not about retrograde, it's about dignity. And poor Nietzsche, who was very unlucky in love, had Venus in fall in Virgo, and that's why it has this kind of dark red color. But he had a pretty strong Saturn and a fairly strong Jupiter. And so this is the classical dignities. I like to see this, so you can always kind of see like, okay, this planet, it's Venus, but it's maybe not like the greatest Venus. Or like, yeah, it's a daytime Saturn and it's in dignity, so it might be a little bit more positive for this person. So this is like just a quick way to judge the planetary effects for this specific individual. But
can you also like zoom in only on the retrogrades on births, because those would take more time probably to complete.
Yeah. That's definitely something I should do. Yeah. We should definitely put in we should definitely put in a retrograde filter. That's a really good idea. So we actually should see the retrogrades in here also, which we don't right now, which is interesting. So this is exactly what I mean, and I will implement this. By the way, we can always change the way everything looks. So another important thing for me is age, and age basically hides the houses. We still are in the same house system. As you can see here, we're still in page Polish, which is topocentric house system, but I just hide the house lines because I want to, I don't need them right now in the chart. And this is something I do quite a lot. And when you click up here, you get all these options here. You have chart layers. You can deactivate your decans and your terms, for example, your syzygy, your nodes, etc. Just to make things decluttered. Or you can also deactivate your outer planets if you're a super traditional astrologer. When I go to full settings, I can have even more options, and we can actually go to colors, and let's see. We have our colors here for detriments, exaltation, and domicile, and you have individual colors for planets. And you can also color the aspects, of course. So if I do individual colors, then I won't have the colors based on dignity anymore. And some people, maybe they don't like it to be distracted by dignities, so you can just have your own planet colors, basically. I still have the dignity colors here, because there's actually another setting to show the dignities in the lists. I just don't find it right now because we have so many here. Color dignity labels. Yeah. So now I deactivated the dignity colors, basically. So if anyone says like, no, I don't believe in dignities, I don't want to have them in the app, you can deactivate them and then just have the planets have colors that you like. This is just some random colors that are in the app right now. And by the way, I'm also working a lot on the look of the app. This is an entirely new chart style here. It's inspired by the Anglo chart style from astro.com. The original chart style from Orinas was actually this one here, which I also kind of like. Yeah, I think there's people have very different tastes in this regard. So that's why I put in a whole chart editor now, which is still very much in not ready, but I already put in some previews here. It's going to be a little bright. For example, we can have these textures now, which is kind of like classic web style noise textures and little shadows. And this shadow here actually moves with the sun. So you could even imagine a mode. Okay, we have another guest. We could imagine a mode where you see the combustion or being under the rays of the sun by like a little lighting here. But I was just experimenting with this because I was not really convinced about the bright daylight modes in the app. It's very different to make design for dark backgrounds and light backgrounds, I realized. Okay, we have no, I just heard something. Okay. So this is just an example I'm working on. It's not done by all means. Reminds me a little bit of like old mangas. This is one I just created. It's based on this Russian astrology software called Zed, or as ZET. Kind of more like a early 2000s vibe. And we can also really customize how big the outer and inner rings are in the chart style editor, but that's something that I will only release when it's really, really stable. And then people can really create their whole own app, basically. The whole app will be totally customizable in terms of how everything looks. That's something that's really important to me because one thing that I often struggle with is just like looking at charts and like not being able to see anything because the style, the design of the chart is just so different from what you're used to. And I'm sure every astrologer had this feeling before. And so I really want people to be comfortable with how their charts look, so you can really focus on what is important. Is there any other questions, maybe? All right. Well, what else could I show you? I'm going to go back to my classic style here. I actually really, really like the bounds. I cannot imagine a life without bounds anymore. They're really important for my astrology. I showed you eclipses. I showed you timing techniques. Well, another cool thing, I can, by the way, hide all these lists here. If they feel overwhelming, I can just close the tables and they're gone. So what I can do is have my little Time Lord techniques here. Everyone knows Zodiacal releasing. I'm pretty happy with the Zodiacal releasing feature. Let's go into my chart again. I can also just press Z for Zodiacal releasing, which is probably good for people who use it a lot. And you have all the Arabic parts that are like lots that you have available, that you have activated right now in your chart, also in the Zodiacal releasing list. So when I do right click on my chart, I can always choose Arabic parts, and then I see the lots in the chart. You can go to your settings and you go to your Arabic parts. You go to planets points, and then you see a huge list of Arabic parts which already ships with the app. And then you can activate all kinds of different parts here. And you can always add a part, and you can also export and import parts. So this is something that users will be able to do. They will be able to have their own special selection of parts and then export them as a simple file, and other users can use them. So people on the internet will be able to exchange all kinds of techniques, lists, settings of the app. The same is true also for the color themes. People will be able to share their creations, basically. So anyway, this is my list of parts, and it is also available in my Zodiacal releasing, and we release from lots. So everyone knows about this lot of spirit for career and a lot of fortune for health, etc. But you could also use the part of exaltation for career. The part of exaltation is actually calculated with the specific degrees of exaltation of the sect lights. So that's the 3rd degree of Taurus for the moon, and the 19th degree of Aries for the sun, and you add these to the sun and the moon. So in my case, because I'm born at night, it would be the distance between my moon and the 3rd degree of Taurus, and that you add to the ascendant, which puts my lot of exaltation in 19 Sagittarius. And it is what it means. It's about being exalted in a social way, or being prominent. So you could also use that as a sort of career or visibility, public visibility indicator. And let's see how it goes for me right now. It's July 26th. I'm in a Jupiter a day, a Jupiter period for my visibility. And the next one is going to be a peak period with an exalted Mars in Aries. And this is like when my Aries sale ends, which is cool. By the way, the Aries sale ends on the 29th on Wednesday. Until Wednesday, you can buy the app for 100 euros, which is, I think, a really, really good deal. This app can do pretty much anything you want from an app. And if it can't do it right now, I will probably implement it in the future. So if you want to support this project and want to see it grow and want me to implement even more crazy things in here, then I'm super happy about anyone coming in now and supporting it now in the early days. And it will definitely be not that affordable anymore in the future, because it's just like such a big monster of a software to maintain. So we have a lot more timing techniques here. Probably I don't know, maybe let's look at decennials, something that was recommended to me recently, an old Hellenistic technique. We have Firdaria from the Arab or like Persian astrologers here. They all pretty much look pretty similar and work pretty similar. You can always see your periods, sub-periods, you see your age, and you can always click on the dates. And you cannot only click on the dates to see the transit to get more symbolic information, but you can also do right click and always open the containing solar revolution. And this, I think, is a big deal, because I'm like, okay, so a Mars period has started in 2020 for me. which is probably in my case it's an exalted Mars on the ascendant, and it rules the MC, so it's kind of related to career. Around that time, I started to get into astrology properly. This was the first time when I really got into traditional astrology, actually. This is pretty much exactly that time. And now we go to our current moment, which is a Jupiter 2026. And now I click on Open Containing Solar Revolution, and let's see what the solar revolution brings. Does it actually resonate with the overarching theme that the Firdaria give us, right? That's like how ancient astrology works. You have a bigger theme, and then you always try to find another testimony. You find confirmation. There's this old saying in from I think the Renaissance, where that's in Latin, that's called omne trinum perfectum, which means like everything is perfect in three. And that was a principle applied to astrology. It was like, you cannot only look at a transit and make a prediction. It always has to be like multiple testimonies saying the same thing. This is how you make a good prediction. So going from my Mars here, which kind of indicates career, struggling maybe also in terms of career, because as I said, Mars is exalted and he's the ruler of my MC. But he's also Mars, and he's also in Capricorn, and he's also with Saturn. So there's probably a lot of struggle in there. So this is an overarching theme here. And then we look at, okay, the current time, and then we look at the solar return. I press tab again, and I see that solar return for this year, and it kind of doesn't look bad. And it's a Jupiter Firdaria period with an exalted Jupiter, albeit it's retrograde, and it's kind of in the third house. Not that strong, but it's still it's kind of like definitely a resonance. And I would say personally that in the past 6 years, career-wise, this is definitely kind of like the biggest moment I'm having right now. So I would say like, okay, this works pretty well. And going back to the question about the colors, I think the colors are very useful in this way. Like it immediately is like, okay, this is not only a Mars period, and like, oh, Mars is a malefic or something. No, it's an exalted Mars period for that chart, for that person. So you immediately get like kind of your intuition is kind of guided into a different direction. And I think these little details, little hints that colors can give you, that can make a big difference, especially when you're in a consultation. Right now, like I do with you, in a moment where you kind of improvise, and you have to come up with information quickly, can really make a big difference. And right now the consultation is I'm doing it for myself basically, but I've actually never looked at this technique before. So that's the cool thing. Just wanted to demonstrate how these small user interface tricks can help us in an astrological consultation, basically. Okay, I think we're at a good 45 minutes now, so I would use the rest of the time really for any questions. And yeah, so please ask me anything.
First of all, I'm hearing myself. Oh, there we go. I'm not going to ask you a question.
Sure.
But I just want to say amazing job and amazing work here. For I don't know how long you've been working on this, but I could see how your personal movement through working with charts, how you've implemented probably for yourself here. I'm assuming that's what's happened, because I see why certain design things are happening quickly to move through, especially when you're researching. For instance, when I looked at the planetary returns video last night, that in itself, like the movement through just with the keys, and then the aspects, you know, when the Kazemi happens or whatever. I mean, that is, I don't know how long it took you to do that, if it was simple. Whatever the case is, it was huge for me, like just huge, from a time and research point of view. So anyway, thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
Yep.
So,
Oh, sorry.
hmm?
Just on the last demo part, when you had the Firdaria up, and
Yeah.
then you on the right hand side, you were clicking on. I'm looking at my own stuff right now, but
Yeah.
you were clicking on. I think it was a Jupiter, right? It was going on for you. And you're opening it up in the solar container, even though the Firdaria date could be, because mine opened up to the previous solar return, right? That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, for instance, there, like, I'm looking at your screen right now, and I see that, yeah, you clicked on Jupiter.
Yeah. Right click.
And then you open up yeah, do that, and then
Yeah.
all right, it's good. It's actually supposed to do that, right? Go to the
Yes, I mean, in the Firdaria is actually Firdaria are defined, I think, by starting from the solar return. So it should always be the same one. But very often, when you do the containing solar revolution in other lists, it very often jumps just to the solar return before, but because it's always like the solar return that contains that event. That's the logic of it, basically. But if you want to like jump to the next solar return, you can always just jump, yeah, with your arrow keys to the next year. So
yeah, I mean, just that alone, thank you. just that is so huge.
Yeah, I think so too, because it just if you're in a consultation, it just saves it. Like it can break the conversation when you like look for something for too long. But I actually got this idea just from I think it was Morinus, the guy Morinus, who said that with a solar return you should always look at the year before and the year afterwards, because if someone has a terrible solar return, then it's never only that like you have to the next year is going to be fine. Then we will tell the client
you need to give him that info as soon as possible.
You will tell the client like, okay, this is going to be a little bit more difficult year in this area of your life, but then next year things will consolidate, so don't worry. Or like be like, last year was pretty difficult, now you're kind of stabilized, and they will be like, yeah, you're right. Just from that, just like from like quickly glancing over last year, this year, next year can be very useful. So that's why I implemented that. Yeah.
I'm using a Logitech. I'm on a Mac, Logitech wireless keyboard, and the F functions are weird because I have to figure this out. And if I can, I'll talk to you about it. But
I don't like the function keys. They are still sort of a relic from the old Morinus app. I don't even know if they work, to be honest. Like
because I mean, the cool thing is you hover over and it's telling you which keys. That's great.
Exactly, but they might. I have to be honest. I haven't tried them really. I don't think they work.
It's funny because on the Mac, at least,
to be honest.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was doing. Anyway, it's something for later. But
yeah. No, you're right. I think the function. I think it's better to have like simple things like T for transits and X for like aspect list. But
the double shift, the double hit on the shift was mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know, just to look at the chart and start typing numbers and what came up. I didn't even know that until you did this today.
Right. Yeah. That's I haven't figured out yet how to get this across to people. Like, you know, how to explain these things in a manual or something like that. But
I mean,
I will definitely do that in the future.
The YouTube videos or quick demos of a certain function is kind of the way, to be honest, because most people, like that's the way I'm going to do it. I just saw it one time, like, okay, you know, visually. No, you're doing fine, dude. It's good.
Okay.
I mean,
cool. All right. Anyone else? I think we're pretty much.
I don't have any comments. I'm just really excited to play with it. So thank you. No, this is so beautiful. It's just stunning.
Thank you.
Hey, Nicholas. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Are you a traditional astrologer, Michelle?
No, I'm a baby astrologer, just starting out.
Great.
Mostly a tarot person, but I keep finding correlations, right, between the tarot that's pulled for myself and for others with the astrology of the moment.
yeah.
So I figured I need to get a little more serious about.
That's something you can do very well also with the app. Just like do horary charts is also what I like.
Mhm.
I can show you once a simple thing here. Since you like the astrology of the moment. I mean, obviously you can click on here and now, and you get the chart of the moment. But we also have a little horary engine in here, actually, which I can always press I, by the way, and it gives me the inspector. The inspector has all these hover informations with the planets. But when I go here on these little interpretation tabs here, I can go to Horary, and then I have all these subjects here from the actual work of William Lilly, the Horary astrologer from the 17th century. So right now we could do considerations, which just gives me general significations from the chart. And of course, it's all really bad right now because Saturn is fallen, and so the ascendant is in Saturn sign right now. So this is all looks really gloomy. But there's many different. So feel free to play around with that. This is only included in the paid version, I think. But it should also be in the trial though. But yeah, this is like I call them corpus packs. These are basically like little cards that you can import into the app, and people can create their own sort of content for these interpretations and load them into the app. This will be the plan for the future, and this is sort of my example for what you can do when you put in a big old book, or like even two big old books that have no copyright anymore, that are in the public domain. You put them through an AI agent and to create these little aphorisms basically, and wire them into the semantic engine, the astrological logic basically. And so the sky is the limit. And with this, I mean, we can like if there's like something that you can express in astrological terms, you can put it in there basically. So you could also, I don't know, write down your own horary notes when you pull up charts for people, and say like, oh, last time I had a relationship question, the moon was in the 9th house. I'm going to write this down, and I'm going to put it in the app, so next time I'm going to be reminded of this, for example. Going to be things that I want people to be able to do. But this is a little bit for the future of the app, but definitely the plan to have it kind of open to these sort of things. Yeah.
Okay, that's impressive. Yeah, no, I'll be getting the paid version.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much, people, for going through this with me. If there's any last question, I'm going to answer it. Otherwise, I'd say pretty good on time. Cool. So thank you so much. If you like to try the app, just go to www.aries.sh and click on early access, and please spread the word to anyone else who might be interested in this. The early access sale is going to be on until Wednesday night. That's it for now. Thank you so much, and see you soon.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you. Bye.
See you.